Every time you flick on your screen, I want you to remember this. The story you're about to read might just change the way you see everything. Before you dive in, hit subscribe, because every tale I share is more than just words. It's an invitation to feel, to question, to believe again. If you're ready to journey somewhere unforgettable, subscribe now, and let's begin. The evening sky over Ashmere Road was a bruised lavender, the color of regret or promise, depending on how you looked at it. From where I stood at the foot of 24 Ashmere, I could see the faint glow of a single window still lit on the second floor. It was the only sign that someone, perhaps someone waiting, someone remembering, still cared for that house. I had returned after 10 years. 10 years of wandering, of building walls around my heart, of forgetting who I was. But Ashmere Road was a wound I could never fully heal. It called me back. When I paused under the ancient oak tree in front of the house, I felt the hollow shift in my chest settle, like a door opening. The wind was quiet. The street, once crowded with laughter and neighbors chatting over fences, now lay almost deserted. The hedges were overgrown, the paint was peeling. The mailbox sagged. It seemed a relic of time, resisting decay only by force. I walked up the cracked walkway, the broken stones cutting into my shoes. Memories surged, unbidden. The games in summer, the laughter in the kitchen, the arguments, the grief. The way my mother used to press her query, "When will you come home again?" My reply always unsaid. The front door was unlocked. I noticed that first, something I'd never expect in a place people still lived in. I pushed it gently, and it groaned open. Inside, the hallway was dim, but familiar. The wallpaper, once a cheerful blue with white florals, was now faded, sagging in places. A dusty chandelier hung overhead, bulbs burned out. The air smelled of closed windows, stale tea, and old fabric. I stood there a long moment, gathering courage. My footsteps echoed as I moved toward the living room. The furniture was strewn. A faded sofa with springs poking out, a low table with cracked veneer. On the mantel, dusty framed photographs. A young family, mother, father, my younger sister and me beaming in summer dresses and crisp shirts. I recognized the face of my father, strong and kind. My mother, soft-eyed, her arm around me when I was small. I touched the glass on one frame, it crackled under my fingertips. I inhaled the scent of displaced dust and memory. My fingers trembled. I searched the room. It looked as if time had stopped, but also as if no one had dared to move for years. Then I saw the staircase. It led upward into darkness, a rope of shadow pulling me. And above that, the window on the second floor, still lit. Someone was there. I had to find out who. I climbed the stairs, floorboards creaking beneath my weight. Each creak whispered warnings, but I pressed on. At the top, a hallway stretched before me, doors closed on either side. The light came from the last door on the right, a bedroom. I reached for the doorknob. My heart pounded. When I opened the door gently, the sight struck me like a blow. A woman sat in a wooden chair by the window, back to me. She was slender, hair long and dark, tied with a ribbon. Her posture was rigid. The window beside her overlooked Ashmere Road. The lavender sky framed her silhouette. She didn't turn immediately. She was frozen in time. "Hello," I said, voice barely louder than a breath. Her shoulders shifted. She turned slowly. The face that looked back at me was hers, older, softer, with lines carved by sorrow, but unmistakably hers. My sister, Celia. My breath caught. I had thought she moved away, that we lost touch. But there she was, as if waiting for me all these years. "James," she whispered. I stepped forward, uncertain, worn. She stood, timid. We stared at each other, two halves torn apart, reunited in that dim room. Why are you here?" she asked, voice trembling. "I came home," I replied, voice raw. "I always wanted to. I had to." She didn't move. The silence pressed around us. Then she gestured to a corner of the room. There, I noticed an old writing desk, stacked with notebooks, letters, papers. The top page showed my name in my mother's handwriting. Beside it lay a glass vial of dried flowers, pressed between pages. I walked over. My fingers hovered above the letters. I recognized her handwriting too, my sister's. A letter addressed to me, dated years ago, never sent. I picked it up and began to read. Dear James, it began. Greater than I don't know if you will ever see or read this, but I need you to understand. I miss you. I miss us. Mother sits by the window every night, waiting. Father's voice echoes down the halls in my mind. I hold my memories tight, hoping you return. Please, if you ever come back, forgive me for being silent so long. Tears stung my eyes. I folded the letter. Celia came and placed a hand on my shoulder. I never mailed them, she said. Her voice cracked. I was afraid. I was wounded. You left so suddenly. I didn't know how to call you back. She swallowed hard. This house, it keeps things alive. I looked around the room. The dusty curtains drawn back showed glimpses of the street. I saw two figures at a distance, assembled across from the house. One was old, bent, and leaning on a cane. The other younger, shaking. They stared up at the window. Mother and father. They had come. Celia turned. They're here. I set the letters aside and followed her to the window. Sure enough, at the end of the driveway, they stood. My father, gray-haired and tall, his posture weakened by age, and my mother, her hair silver, face solemn. The sight pierced me. She whispered, "Do you forgive them?" I didn't know. All the years of distance, the sorrow, the silence, they burdened my heart. But watching them stand there, vulnerable, waiting in the dusk, I felt something shift inside me. Yes, I whispered back. I forgive them. Celia closed her eyes. I turned from the window. Tears welled in my eyes. She let me hug her. The wall of years collapsed between us. At that moment, I understood. I had come home not just to a house, but to belonging, to roots, to love. We descended the stairs together. Mother and father waited in the living room. The glow in the hallway lighted their faces. My mother's eyes brimmed. My father remained quiet, head down, burdened. I stepped forward. Mom, Dad. My voice wavered. Mother rushed to me, arms trembling. She held me close. The scent of old perfume, the thinness of her arms, the softness of her hair. I wore rough clothes. She smelled of memory and quiet nights. Father stayed back, uncertain. I turned to him. Dad, I said, fisting my hands. I'm sorry. I was lost. I thought I could run from everything. But I realize now, you both suffered too. We all did. He swallowed hard. He stepped forward slowly and placed a shaky hand on my shoulder. Welcome home, son, he said, voice cracked. In that instant, the house exhaled. The weight of years and silence lifted, replaced by awkward hope. Later, we sat in the living room by candlelight. The electricity was long since cut. We spoke slowly, in fits and starts, the years falling away with each word. Celia told me how she stayed in the house, refusing to leave, sending letters she never mailed, believing against reason that I would return. Mother murmured about nights she watched the road, hoping to see a distant silhouette. Father admitted he had lost himself. Without all of us, I apologized for leaving. I explained what I had been through, how the world outside Ashmere changed me, how fear ruled me, how regret haunted me. They listened, sorrow and understanding in their eyes. Outside, the wind shook dead leaves against the windows. In that house, we waited for dawn together, the first real dawn in a long time. When the first light pierced the curtains, I went upstairs to that room again. The notebooks lay there. I opened one at random. Inside, scribbles, poems, drawings, tears disguised as ink. Celia's journey through grief, her fear, her plea to me. I realized then that her silence was her way of coping, not a rejection. I found a page near the end with the words, "I will not wait forever, but maybe enough to see you again." My eyes filled. I closed the book. I understood. I was part of a story larger than myself. My absence had been a wound. My return was the first stitch. We left the house together that morning. The hedges we trimmed, the windows we washed, the paint we touched up. It was a small beginning, but real. We planted new flowers in the garden where older ones had died. I painted the front door a soft sky blue. The mailbox was straightened. The house sighed in relief. Neighbors noticed. A young family across the street peeked and waved. A neighbor who'd moved away came back to see what was happening. The street came alive again. In time, we reopened the house to visitors, memories, laughter. We held dinner under the old oak tree. We lit lanterns. We invited music. And we invited you, whomever you are, into our healing. Because some homes are not just buildings. They are the memory of love and forgiveness, of absence and return. Ashmere Road became more than a path. It became a symbol of the life we chose to reclaim. I stand now on the porch of 24 Ashmere, the sun warming my face. Celia rests inside. Mother's humming drifts from the kitchen. Father sits under the oak, cane leaning beside him. Neighbors stroll by, greeting us. I feel rooted again, grounded again, alive again. If you ever feel lost, if you ever feel you can't return, know this: love is patient. It waits. Memory endures. And you can come back. You always can. If this story touched your heart, imagine the ones yet to come. Hit subscribe right now. Don't let this be the only tale you'll ever read here. Join our growing family of readers who believe in second chances, in healing, in stories that stir the soul. Share this story with someone you care about. Comment below. What does home mean to you? And above all, always remember, you can come back.